Leonidas drops the stun and drops the full ult. Oh my goodness, look at the health bars. It's a quad kill.
Should find the kill. Lunara will clean up that fight. Oh my god, I can't believe it. It is going to be Soul Shield. You gotta be kidding me. Rana takes the 3v1, gets one, looking for the second. Crispy is popping off. Crispy.
Like that Blizzard may connect with 4 people.
Oh, Lady Ronin! Oh my goodness, what a chat!
That was really good.
G'day. Welcome to tonight's Nexus Gaming Series cast, where I definitely just realized I have the wrong division on there, so let me just, you can watch some live editing as I just get rid of that and just type in D West instead. Anyway, yep, we have a Division D West series today. I am your host, O-Line Boss, and today we have Bull Moose Party versus all random, all middle-aged. I love that name already. It's a 10 out of 10, and I realize I'm on the wrong screen, so let me just click on over here as we're going to shimmy over to see what map we're going to first. Because it looks like, well, we had we're going to Infernal Shrines first. Solid map, most people love it. We do see that we had the... I'm just going to stare at these maps blankly. Battlefield of Eternity and Cursed Hollow was banned by Bull Moose Party, or all random, all middle-aged decided to ban Dragonshire and Alterac Pass. Anyway, I already have a map loaded up for anyone who was very quick to look. So I'm going to click the play button here and cut on over into the game. So on the left side of Bull Moose Party, we have Winter Rose on the Blaze. Toast Monster on the, oh gosh, ETC, I couldn't remember it. Eternal Blue on what I believe is Tychus. Shadow Droid on Junkrat, and Watch for Dan on the Stukov. On the right hand side we have Poppin' Fresh on that Leoric. Modus Trollin on the Jaina. Juggerop on the May. Barber on the Greymane, and the Muffin Man, or just Muffin Man on Anduin. Anyway, I'm just going to open up these talents so we can see where we are starting off with today. Any quest as of note? Looks like it's going to be an off-lane Blaze and not off-lane ETC, as indicated by that. It's not Adrenal Stimback, is it? It is Adrenaline Stimback, sorry, I was close. Other than that, we do have Jaina stacking globes, and that's about the only thing note of stacking, but oh, Barber gets pushed in. Thankfully, of all people, that was... Actually, that was a great man. That's not the one you want going in. Poppin' Fresh now in all position does have to use Skeletal Wraith to get out, and they are able to do so. Muffin Man in range to heal them, as that is a lot of damage that went out onto the red side of all random, all middle-aged, but they did manage to survive, and they do actually have a pretty good wave clear. As I was saying, the thing to note actually is at level 1 for Greymane, perfect aim. Greymane, you typically see people go into the auto attack talents early on of a 4-second cooldown talent 1, so I'll be interested to see how that plays out, and I am hoping we get to see a Flask game. Juggerob tries to be a little bit cheeky with a rotation interrupt, however, Bull Moose Party also being very cheeky by getting that bottom camp first. I like the play, very good, but let's just have a little bit of a rotate, have a little look around to see what's happening. As we do now have Bull Moose Party taking their left side Bruiser camp, and the offlaners are picking up that double soak. I wouldn't say that is a favourable matchup. I went to go say Blaze and matchup at the same time. I wouldn't say that is a favourable matchup for Blaze, as he is just kind of a big walking health battery for Leoric's creepy hand. Speaking about Leoric's creepy hand, he has overwall and will die. As we hear First Blood goes over to the side of Bull Moose Party as they get forward just slightly earlier. Good side coming onto the Juggerog. Juggerog did have to use Ice Block there to get out of it. Or Cryo Freeze, whatever it's called, and they're able to get out. Modus Trollin is just going to briefly pick up that soak for Poppin' Fresh. So we do have it just general soak getting picked up by everyone, and it's still pretty close all considering. Yep, 4's being picked, excellent. Things playing safe. We do see both teams doing their respective bruiser camps, as I can not zoom out even more, because that's about as far as I can go, and these are just not quite in the same frame. These camps can be. This is a wonderful shrine just to like go, here's what's happening. Speaking of which, it is this shrine to start off with, and it is a Mortar Punisher. As Juggerob is going back now, leaving it a bit late, but both of you, speaking of late, both of the offlaners will probably have to rotate down later, as they do have their each respective camp pushing. However, it looks like they decided to go elsewhere. Toast Monster having to back out before they take a little bit too much damage, and Greyman looks like he is going to clear that Shaman. So it'll be interesting to see if the red team decides to, sorry, all random, all middle age decide to forego this objective, because we're already halfway by Bull Moose party, and they just decide to run down top, and it looks like Blaze is actually going to respond to it, because there's 10 left now on the Punisher. Unfortunately enough for the side of all random, all middle age, it's not frozen. They can afford to give it, just because it won't do quite as much as, well, frozen early game. Mortar still does a lot, do not get me wrong. Juggerob is going to have to take this jump before too long, or choose not to at all. Juggerob? But the jump, like, the jump range is just a bit shorter than where Juggerob was going. Juggerob was over here, so the jump range is about there. See, there you go. Jump comes out, is actually doing a lot to Juggerob as they go very low, but are not going to quite go down. And this is actually a lot of that front fort being taken. The pressure made top was just not quite enough to kind of counteract what's happening down here. Juggerob does get slid, they get taken out by the Punisher and the minions combined, but Nexus forces turns out to be quite strong. And there's first fort of the game also going over to Bull Moose party. This is a strong start from the blue side over here, as we get some just nice strong pressure coming out early. Let's have a look into things. Other talents have no. Jaina is halfway on her globe quest. Yes, globe quest. As well as Tychus, 14 stacks out of his infinite stacking in the rhythm. So the more stacks he has, the longer the minigun goes. And when we're piercing light, it makes sense to do a double tank comp, but it will be interesting to see if it pays off by the end. And other thing to note, Greymane did end up going Incendiary Elixir. Talent that you haven't seen as much until very recently, just because, well, it is a talent that was buffed, and Greymane usually auto attacker doesn't usually lean into his spells, but in a fight like Shrines, it can be quite good. We'll just have to wait to see on that one. And while we're also just rotating around, I will bring up this little thing here just so everyone can see what's happening. Siege damage both pretty close for both Leoric and Blaze. However, Leoric is coming down to do that little bit extra hero damage. Not quite going to get off there. Juggerob dashes in. Eternal Blue actually used their dash at the same time. Very lucky for him, because otherwise it looks like he was going to get pushed into full combo. However, to no avail. Bob and Fresh just keeping an eye on things. Rotating the safe way. Very smart, considering, well, what we know is they may have probably died. Almost definitely. And it looks like we're now going to get hard siege top, as that is Commander Odin popped. Speaking of 10s, we do have Commander Odin. Mosh. We have Greymane's bullet coming out. Stun not quite hitting. Same for the... This is a lot of ults coming out. Mosh actually hits 3. Avalanche hits 2. Juggerov is able to both Winter Rose and Toast Monsieur, as I keep trying to combine both names, as we are just now seeing them try to push in. Ring of Frost manages to not quite find anyone. Root, however, comes onto Toast Monsieur. I keep saying Toast Monsieur. Toast Monster, as Toast Monster gets very low and gets taken out by Jaina in the end. Juggerop going in to try finish off Winter Rose. But however, follow-up wasn't there, and the boop just wasn't quite enough to CC it. And that was a good, necessary fight from the side of All Random, All Middle Age. Unfortunately... Oh, actually, let's see what they do to capitalize on this, as they're now getting very aggressive. Winter Rose pushed back in, there's Curse Bolt coming out, and that would be Greymane. No. Blaze being taken out by Greymane. Also, welcome to Fine Peace. Hope you're doing well tonight. And now we just have back to the soak thing for Leoric. Even though Leoric probably is the better part of their clear. And just we do have quite a big wave bot pressuring just that gate. And here we just see top being taken down as Barber and Jaina do well into this situation. Interested, just looking at things here, just like Greymane is in that Worgen form, but yet this Flask build, just question. And now we do see the red team backing as Poppin' Fresh has been forced to kind of defend solo thus far. Toastmonster getting a decent amount of damage onto them by that Drain Hope, but nothing much to come of it. That is an excellent Entomb, piercing hits out, and that will be EC going down first. Shadow Droid gets a very good Riptire onto the side of all random or middle age, meaning that they can disengage safely. That trap may, in fact, no, not anymore. It won't kill the Orc anymore, but definitely isn't something you want to trifle with. May has been left alone with Blaze in the interim. Blaze probably a bit better for clearing all this than May, going to be honest. But it looks like here that the red team will probably take this objective, as Modus Trollin is much better than both of them in clearing. Doesn't quite hit the Avalanche, not the Avalanche, the... Oh, I can't remember Jaina's abilities because I don't play that hero very often. What's my buttons? That's not it, that's not it. Cone of Cold! There we go, as she doesn't quite hit that Cone of Cold. And now we have a Arcane Punisher going under the tower. Arcane Punishers actually have pretty decent like minion clear, as you see these beams just go... Except still probably one of the weakest Immortals, I believe. Not Frozen, not Water. It does get an excellent double stun. Eternal Blue taking a lot of damage for it. However, it looks like the team of all random, all middle-aged, not quite wanting to follow it any deeper. As we see, it doesn't even get a touch on that front gate. So speaking of which, they are not choosing to go mid, but in fact, choosing to get that bottom camp. So it'll be interesting to see where things go from here. We're getting a lot of major power spikes come online. Tychus's build really starting to hit kind of a stride in the next 3 levels. And Leoric's build is starting to come online as well. That percent damage on his auto attacks does a lot to make people not want to be near them. Especially into a double frontline comp where his auto attacks do percent damage as well as they steal health. That turned up to be a lot, and we may see how well that comes into that late game. There's an excellent turn onto Toast Monster. Toast Monster does manage to get an excellent mosh. Light Bomb coming out, doesn't quite save Poppin' Fresh first to go down, as that will be another Leoric kill. Grenade doesn't quite find its target. Juggerop stepping back in. Eternal Blue has used dash, but does just saunter out, not wanting to be in danger. Modus Trollin does get pulled. Watch for Dan, try to hit him with that weighted pustule, but didn't quite find his mark, as Anduin Pool did get Vagina out of trouble. Very well played by both sides there. Very fortunate that all random, all middle age were able to mitigate their losses. Stun coming out onto Blaze, and that'll be actually Blaze going down here, as that was a lot of damage as well. This is feeling very back and forth now. One team gets kill, another team gets a kill, so on and so forth. And well, we do see that is reflected in the kills. 3 to 4. And however, Blaze has just been a little bit more on top of the Soak than Leoric into the mid game. However, this is now the chance for the red team of all random, all middle age. Jeez, my words are failing me. All random, all middle age to catch up. And we can see that, however, the blue side of Bull Moose Party will be the first to hit 16s. As what talents will they pick? Because I'm going to hover over them, because like that's going to speed them up. We see the Super Strain from Stukov. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember things off the top of my head. I'm just going to put on this here. Toast Monster slides in with that Showstopper, giving that extra armor. Excellent Ice Block by Juggerod, meaning they're able to get out. That grenade build on like Viticus. Interesting to see Junkrat has gone Burst Fire. It's not a talent you see often. Most people either go for the Endless Grenades or the... Oh look, here's where that angle comes in. People either usually go the Endless Nades or the Spread Fire, so it'll be interesting where that goes. And Blaze went Charge, okay. Jaina went the normal kind of Root talent. Leoric is slowly stacking now his auto attack talent, because the faster he swings, the more damage he does, etc, etc, and he needs those minion or hero kills. He, however, isn't with the allied team of all random, all middle-aged here, so they aren't able to step in, as they do now have the number advantage. You see there's 5 here. Toast Monster doing his best to stay hidden, but there are 5 here, and the red team is kind of spread out over the map, pushing up waves. And we'll see if they actually make it so Bull Moose Party has to respond. The answer so far, no. They do not have to respond at all. Because, well, this is going to be a frozen Punisher pushing onto a exposed keep. Are we going to get a core race? Oh, are we going to get a core race? I hope so. I hope we're getting a core race, because that will be amazing. Because Greymane, very good siege. May can stall for quite a while. No! No! I thought we were going to get a core race! No! I was excited! No! Anyway, we do have Juggerop here for the solo defense. Is needing to take the jump. Jump comes out. Eternal Blue does charge onto him. Does actually get the Ice Block out between all the damage. Gets pulled out. ETC barely catches May with the Mosh. May surviving just a bit longer than expected. Even though the Mosh, not the Mosh, the Light Bomb didn't quite find any targets. May was able to barely hold on by their little tootsies as Winter Rose now charges in, gets rooted for their effort. Santra going under. Poppin' Fresh goes down to the Tigers. Tigers doing a lot of damage. Is Winter Rose going to be able to escape? However, it does get slowed by Poppin' Fresh's skeletal swing. They are able to do that in their ghost form, and it does do extra damage. And that is a solid defense from the side of All Random All Middle Aged, with, well, only losing 1 for 2. That is favorable, even. And now they also have a win condition open top. This is going to be a tight game moving into it, and I'd be interested to see if the next Punisher is top. That's going to be very dangerous for the side of Bull Moose Party. They will need to win that fight. However, here we do have now that the red team of All Random All Middle Age has pulled ahead of Bull Moose Party, so this is now potentially going to be turned around. Storm talents come in just 2/3 a level, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with it if they are able to do anything with it. Greymane sieging up. Greymane is known for his good siege. He doesn't quite have that normal auto attack speed. However, that will be that. And now we have what is potentially going to be a fight here. This is potentially a very dangerous place. Thanks to May's Avalanche, they can push people over to this area here. However, it will be hard to step on. Thank you to that Junkrat grenade. Poppin' Fresh does get that light bomb on them. Doesn't quite manage to find their target. It looks like the red team of All Random All Middle Age have managed to claim their camp from Bull Moose Party. Meanwhile, Junkrat claims Juggerop, as Juggerop just kind of minces into a trap and gets hurt. That's unfortunate. Sometimes life is like that. You're minding your own business, walk into a bush, and ouch, it's a bear trap. What can you do about it? In all honesty, nothing. Junkrat traps in this game cannot be destroyed. They can only be taken out by minions or your own feet. In either way, those are going to go away eventually. Oh, I guess Junkrat can move them, but anyway. As we do see now, we're just starting to get that siege here. Barber did go... Oh, we do actually have Storm Talents up, so I'm going to open that up. We do see Flash Freeze from May, so her... What is it actually called? Cryo Freeze will pop if she takes lethal damage, kind of like Joe with her Invulnerable. Indestructible? Indestructible. We see Hunter's Blunderbuss from Greymane, because I actually know what that one's called. Buried Alive by Leoric. Oh gosh, I've accidentally done the thing. Inner Fire by Anduin, and Ice Blink? Ice Blink from Vagina. We do have the C20s also come through from Bull Moose Party. We have extra... Oh, no, it's extra oomph. It is extra oomph from Junkrat. Death Metal from ETC. Push Come to Shove from Stukov. Burn Notice... Really? Burn Notice from Blaze. And Big Red Button from Tychus, which is very good for these objectives, and this may be a final fight territory at this point. Maybe not for Bull Moose Party, as they'd have to get quite a decent distance to get to bot. But meanwhile, if All Random All Middle Age are able to get this, they can take that first map. But I want to see this go a little bit further. Toast Monster actually, however, ate a lot of damage there. Poppin' Fresh getting a decent amount of that Drain Hope onto them. And that will be just kind of the red team pushing out blue. Junkrat tie coming in. The red team needs to stay split. They can't afford to give that reset. And that was a full reset. After all that careful positioning. So Jetto Droid has that back. It will be interesting to see if that's just used coming up soon. That is an excellent stun coming out from Winter Rose. Winter Rose getting a double. That is actually Toast Monster following it up. Good triple Riptide hit, as that will be Big Red Button also hitting 2 more. That is EC who actually went down first, now that I'm looking at it, as Jaina was able to get that kill. Poppin' Fresh is next to go down, but Leoric not quite able to hold on for that long. Juggerob also low. Be interesting to see how many of these team members have their taps up. 1, 2, 3, 4. They could re-engage, as that now is a decent fight for them. The only thing to note is Bullmoose Party does have an objective leave. They even only need 1 more, and they'll be taken by the Riptide. And Barber gets very low, does get pulled. Juggerob is likely to go down next, does have to pop there. Cryo Freeze, however, they're in range of many stuns. The Punisher is going to get that final stun to finish him off, and that will be another kill for the side of Bull Moose Party. Kills pretty much even, only 1 ahead for Already All Middle Age, but they now have to deal with this objective coming up. Leoric did back right as he was respawning. Excellent stuff. And that was a pretty comfortable take of that first building. Because I'm just going to now move the camera down here, close this, because we don't need this anymore. Camera. Leoric is getting it to jump. Did actually manage to get over the wall. Needs to pull it back a bit more. Junkrat's Riptide does actually get destroyed here, so it is put on full cooldown instead of the constant resets he is getting. So that is a good defense onto the Mortar Punisher. Junkrat is scouting out that camp, but they will all be backing up. That's an aggressive ping. That is 4 catapults. As Leoric is heading down. May could have probably picked it up, but better safe than sorry. Leoric does not want that pushing into their keep. Well, core as that will probably kill it. However, don't know if all the blue team should be blue team. Wow, I don't know if all middle age should be here, as it is really just Leoric needs to do it. The rest of the team should have probably been taking that camp at this time. So it'll be interesting to see if that is a unfortunate slip up, but it looks like the camp should be taken in time. As I just zoom out and we can see here just Bullmoose Party just sitting just below them, but is going to take that middle fort. Very much balancing out structures. Okay, sure, there's a hair there is a hair kind of width on this fort here, as I accidentally swear and we're gonna know that. But that is still even structures. Teams are getting even passive pressure. Greymane throws in a flask, doesn't quite find home. Juggerob throws a snowball into the bush in front of him, but nothing to be found. This middle one here is a much more even, whoever wins the next fight wins, so I'm really about it. We're probably not going to get any major plays up until this structure, until this objective phase. It's because you see both teams here really not wanting to throw. We see very safe play on both sides. The blue team getting their camps, clearing this. Red team... I take back, red team's like, we want keep. We want structure, give us building! As Modus Trollin just walks up, pushes a couple buttons. That'll be that building going down. But for red team, now... Interesting use of Ice Blink. Let's hope that doesn't come to bite Jaina in the butt in just a bit. Fortunately, objective hasn't been called just yet, so should still be fine maybe for the next 30 to 40 seconds. I don't actually know the cooldown of it. I am just going to... Whoop, 60 seconds, yep. So Jaina would very likely have it back by the next objective at this point. Speaking of which, we do have the blue team of Bullmoose Party posturing. Wanting that objective. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. I'm going to pull up these talents and just show some stats. We'll just take a brief we've got another shrine coming. It's frozen. It's very likely going to be the last. So soak it in, because here is what's coming up. I have an APM button. I keep forgetting it. I love this button because this is a useless screen. Let's go Tigers with... Oh. Look at that. We have movement of the actions. Tigers with 48s. 260. 36. 408. 450. 158. Juggernaut getting very aggressive. We do actually see Muffin Man was able to scout out the tanks in the bush, and now this will be another split fight. Juggernaut and Poppin' Fresh are the only ones holding high. That is a Riptide coming out and will likely be used mainly to clear the objective. Poppin' Fresh eating a decent amount of damage for it as well, but not much else. As we see now, the red team is wanting to step in. Poppin' Fresh does get a nice little bit of drain hope onto the enemy team. And actually throughout that, Barber was able to take the bottom camp. Doesn't quite hit the flask. Was able to take the bottom camp and be able to push back in. Like to see an Entomb just here, but this is a very, very pokey fight. Nothing in it, basically, in terms of the minions. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Juggernaut manages to push Toast Monster out as there's, again, just a 2 difference. This is not quite going to be at this bit here. As now the red team's in the lead for the objective. It's going to be now or never if someone wants to get it. They just need one more. And that is the Frozen Punch out. Poppin' Fresh does get hit. Does get that thing used for him. That is an excellent tomb. Actually, ETC has nowhere to go. They're stuck in the silence. They're stuck in the roof. They're stuck in the taunt. And that's them going down. And we do see Leoric is halving. Is that his 5 catapults and all? Oh my gosh, is that core going to go down to just for catapults? Does Leoric get there in time? Leoric gets there in time. And now we do see an excellent double stun coming out from the Blaze. Winter Rose hitting an excellent double stun bed to get them down and actually gets a decent amount of damage on them with that. I can't remember what it's called. I don't take it. I can't remember what the talent's called. Oh my gosh. And actually we do have May go down first, but Junkrat thanks to that silence. Modus trolling is a bit too low. Barber all in ink. Modus does walk into the Stukov. Pull comes down to Barber. Barber is getting low, however. That will be the Punisher managed to finish the call. First game going over to all random, all middle-aged. Let me cut on over to my stat screen. Game summary screen. I have it called in here. Excellent stuff. Bravo, both teams. It was a very good first map. Very back and forth. It could have, honestly, throughout that whole game, it could have gone either way with all random, all middle-aged. Just catching it in the end with just that comeback. Well done. Very good stuff, however, by Boomer's party. They were quite strong throughout. They had a quite strong showing throughout a lot of it, so they still have a very decent kind of step forward and where they need to go, what they need to do for these next maps. As it would be interesting to see how both teams kind of react now to this first map to see if there's any changes the team makes in terms of the style of their comps. That'll be hard to say. Anyway, for anyone who is interested, here are the builds used. Things to note: death metal. Love a little bit of death metal. Just why am I saying that? Other things is Greymane's Gilnean cocktail build. Again, not something seen very often anymore. Well, it's returning to popularity with recent buffs. And I think Snow's Blaze didn't go for charge cell at 13, something Tom really picked, but I actually like this. It is very good, as it makes things much more annoying for the enemy team. And as Blaze, you can't really ask for too much more than being annoying. I'm also just going to point at this. I kind of saw this coming, but anyway. I'm going to briefly go to a break while I just have a little bit of water and set up the next map. I'll be back in just a few moments. welcome back. I am surprised I haven't heard Rocky have just called me, because there has been no person as pro this map Brax's holdout as anyone but Raka, the lovely woman herself, just because they're a very staunch supporter of this. So it'll be interesting to see where we go, because this is not a map we see very often in NGS. It is not the most popular one by any means, but it definitely isn't unpopular. It's not Volskaya. Volskaya is a different map. Volskaya was, in fact... Volskaya is on the table. I do not know if we go there. Just because I don't look at the maps in advance. Just due to, well, I don't want to spoil the series for myself. And I feel like I can do a much more unbiased cast that way. Anyway, I am going to cut on over into the game as we have both teams on the field. On the left-hand side of Boomer's Party, we have Winter Rose on Varian. Watch for Dan on Mal'Ganis. Shadow Droid on Tychus, once again. I can't see the other person's name, it's so close. Eternal Blue on Brightwing, and Toast Monster on the Spooky Skeleton Man. Kel'Thuzad. We have Poppin' Fresh on Sonya in the top lane. Jugger Rob back on that May. Muffin Man on the Stukov. Modus Trollin on... Is that Gul'dan? He's spinning a lot. Gul'dan. And Barber on the Li Ming. That's a lot of spell damage onto the side of Boomer's Party. Not Boomer's Party. Actually, that's Shadow Droid getting very low. Are they going to go down? Holding on. 7. Ooh, a little bit too much as Gul'dan had hit a rather large corruption. And that would be the Tigers going down first. First Blood actually going over to this time to the side of all random, all middle-aged. And we do see that Barber wants a globe. So I'm going to hazard a guess and say they want... Nope, they're not. Yes, they are. They're power hungry at 1. I think so. No, is Gul'dan went corruption build with that echoed corruption at 1. Varian High King's Quest. So we're likely to see... I'm hoping for a twin blade. I love a good little bit of twin blade in the evening. Even though it's probably very early morning for both of these teams as they are currently... Well, not presently playing. It's just a replay. And yeah, those are the main things to know. And other than that, there is, of course, the big... Master of the Cold Dark. Kel'Thuzad's baseline quest, and honestly, where he gets scary, he needs to get that ability to kind of have his main potency. As that is a plus 75% spell power when completed, and that is a lot. For reference, Power Hungry only gives 10%, her Glass Cannon only gives 25%. 75% spell power on... I was going to call him the name, but I should not call him on stream. Gives the Bone Man Toast Monsieur Monster. Why do I keep wanting to say Toast Monsieur? It is not right. It has never been right from what I'm aware of. It's Toast Monster, and I just can't get it. I'm so sorry when you watch this back. But we do have all random, all middle age taking the objective first. Eternal Blue not quite stepping on. Juggerob did have to pop their Cryo Freeze. Watch for Dan actually eating a lot of damage. Shadow Droid is stepping onto the top point just to cancel out what is happening. As we do see forwards come through from the side of all random, all middle age. As we are getting... Are we going full glow build Li Ming, or are we going to get Calamity come up? It'll be interesting to see. Twin Blade. Twin Blade! Yes! This becomes quite a bit easier for Winter Rose at this point. Poppin' Fresh is... Sonya is a very good character in general, I should say. Watch for Dan deciding to take an interesting fight here. Does manage to get the sleep, so they are out. But that will be the point flip back over to all random, all middle-aged. And now they're choosing just to siege once again. And this is not a team that's not a fight Poppin' Fresh wants. They hit with the stun by Watch for Dan. Watch for Dan didn't actually quite get around them in time to get them body blocked in. They'll be objective going over first to the side of all random, all middle-aged. What is that voice I'm doing? I do not know. Do not question it. Yes. And this will just be a fight that Sonya doesn't really do well in. This Varian build is kind of a bit of an off-lane bully, so to speak. So it'll be interesting to see if Poppin' Fresh can keep up, especially 7 and onwards. Anyway, that's the off-lane. No one cares for off-lane except off-laners, me. And we are getting a rather large push mid here. Polymorph comes out and hits, I think it was Li Ming. But we do still get the lot of siege coming out, taking that keep. Watch for Dan, barely holding on, but will not go down. Modus Trolling does get that good. Suck, thank you to the... I can't remember what that ability's called. His W talent. His Drain Soul. It's not Drain Hope. Drain Hope is Leoric. Yeah, but as you can see, Sonya is still kind of bullying here. Winter Rose is kind of going to be struggling just for that little bit longer, but as soon as it hits 7, that is a fight that she can take. Speaking about fight can take, Poppin' Fresh is probably not going to be doing well into both those heroes, as it adds the extra sustain that Winter Rose has been missing for a while. Had checked it. Winter Rose does hit a full, get hit by a full combo yet. I'm so interested where this goes. I hope Varian prevails. I love that hero. I'm not very good at him. I will definitely go in when I should not go in as Varian, but I'm like, yes, I will hit people with my swords, and I will die, because they won't die before I will. But yeah, I would like to see where this goes, as we do now have 7 through for both sides. Tug of Power for Gul'dan. Interesting. Yep, and there it is. That is the talent that makes Varian such a potent duelist. It is that second win. Wait, second win? Yep, second win. And now we're getting good siege from the red side, as they're now wanting to take that front gate. And they actually have a lot to do, so double mage, especially these two mages in particular, quite good for taking it out. Muffin Man wasn't quite hit. That was an excellent chain by Toast Monster, meaning Modus Troll and Juggerob are pulled back together. He had nothing to quite find him. Watch for Dan falling up just short just again. Shadow Droid in the stun, so we're not quite going down. Winter Rose running down Poppin' Fresh. Polymorph meaning they won't be able to escape. No, but they are. They were slowed down by that Polymorph yet. The combination of both, well, Varian, Twin Blade Variant at that, as well as Brightwing is just a little bit too much for Poppin' Fresh to handle. Poppin' Fresh, I need to check that. They are actually, yep, they are Battle Rage. Let's just watch what's happening top as the May barely holds on with 340 health. Not quite wanting to go down yet, as they are able to survive, get healed up, and are able to, yeah. No, I can't say much else, survive. And meanwhile, Poppin' Fresh does still have a wave clear advantage over Varian. Thank you to that spin. Varian definitely has the ability to tell Sonya to go away. Which really, in Braxis, is half the battle when it comes to the off lane. If you're able to get if you're able to bully the other offlaner out of the game, that makes things much harder for that enemy team, making it much easier for your team, especially if they need 2 people to come down and challenge. But now, speaking of getting challenged, Juggerob getting very low, does have to back out using the half. Did get interrupted by the Tychus Grenade, but looks like will not be interrupted again unless Shadow Droid. Nope, Shadow Droid wasn't able to do so. Gets hit by an orb for their kind of audacity. That doesn't quite go down. Watch for Dan getting very low. Speaking of which, we have both Winter Rose and Poppin' Fresh getting low down bottom as well. But once again, it is flipped over in the blue side's favor. Phase shift's coming out. Watch for Dan. Does get that extra 35% heal. 32% healing. So now able to push in. But Sonya manages to get that bottom objective. Watch for Dan getting very aggressive, especially into a team now that has their heroics on. But oh. That is unfortunate. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. We were always watching up here. But yes, as I was saying, we do have heroics through the side of all random all middle age. We see Ice Wall for Mei, Disintegration from Li Ming. Fear? Is it called Horrify? Is it called Horrify? I believe it's called Horrify, or is Horrify the 20 upgrade? Horrify for Gul'dan. Wrath of Berserker for Sonya, and Flailing Swipes for the Stukov. Toast Monster not quite managed to get that chain. Watch for Dan getting very aggressive. Gets pushed back into the stun. Is hit by Silence. Polymorph, however, coming out to Juggernaut, meaning they aren't able to do anything. Phase shift cancelled by the Carrion Swarm. As we do see Carrion Swarm picked up. Shadow Fissure by Toast Monster. I nearly did it again. Blink Heal by Brightwing. Odin by Tychus. And Varian already picked Twin Blades. We've been over this. Poppin' Fresh is not probably wanting to take this fight as well. Winter Rose is full mana, is that second wind. But however, is trying to get pushed back out. Are they able to escape? Come on, Varian! Ah! Ah! Oh, no, so close! Damn! However, Mei was taken out top in the meantime. Sorry, I got a bit distracted. I like the offlane. I think it will be at some point my personal mission to make sure each offlaner gets screen time outside of it. Oh, they're soaking. That's bias, so, but here we are. Barber doing their best to get that poke damage in. We do hear Odin drop, so that is going to be just a retake for the side of Bull Moose Party. As Watch for Dan now scoped the Sonya doing camp. Sonya decided to leash it as it ends up back full health. Varian going to be stepping on the bottom very shortly. Something needs to happen now, and it looks like Poppin' Fresh is wanted for the fight. Watch for Dan in an awkward position, does manage to get a double sleep onto both Barber and Juggerob. Poppin' Fresh hits the spear. Watch for Dan eating a decent amount of damage. However, Horrify not quite finding the right side of him, as point is flipped back over to the side of all random all middle age for Icefall. Also not quite finding anything. Varian taking camp during all of this, as they are going to keep that macro pressure on. And Watch for Dan gets low and will go down first. Poppin' Fresh is not in a good position. Eternal Blue was quite low, but however was able to kind of get pulled back. Thank you to that blink heal, and they will survive for that fight. Shadow Droid playing a very risky game into that team. If they don't have a tank, that's not something they can easily do. That is a Mei getting pulled in. Mei eating a lot of damage for it. Muffin Man has to put on their big boy pants and make sure everyone is healed up properly. As now that is the blue team with the objectives. Juggerob is trying to push back on. And keep in mind, that is only Morgana's coming back now. They're able to do all that without their tank. That is a very strong showing from the DPS of Bull Moose Party. Barber having the back, not being quite found by Watch for Dan. Nope. And it looks like this will be the second Zerg in favor for Bull Moose Party. Still a decent Zerg to defend. They don't really have the best team for it. They do have to pop Odin here to do so. To see the... yeah, that's just being button pushed. But meanwhile, the red team of... all random all middle age actually have very good clear between... well, between Poppin' Fresh and Modus Trollin. Poppin' Fresh making a very bold choice of stepping into a Varian in the middle of a Zerg wave. Doesn't quite go down. Robert and Barber doing their best they can just to get that poke damage onto the team to interrupt their clear. And actually they're still doing a decent amount, but not quite going to find their target. And that bottom keep is really held onto as well. Very good defense from the red side and very good defense from the blue side as well, considering they had people pestering them the whole time. And now it looks like we're going to have a 5-man push top. How will the side of all random or middle age respond to that? Nope. Varian is deciding to back away. And oh my god. Oh, I thought he was about to start balls. I was about to get real excited. I'm like, yes! No! But yeah. This Varian build, very good for camping, very good for dueling. Not the best at soaking. Not terrible, but not the best. But we can see now that red team is defending. Sonya is likely going to have to just mosey on bottom to make sure nothing too much is lost there. Was checking boss for Varian. As I said, Varian known for his camping skills and can solo take that boss. And we'll see where we go. As that bottom camp now getting a decent amount of pressure. Sonya keeping an eye on things to make sure nothing cheeky is happening. Excellent blink by Barber as they're able to get out. Juggerob in an interesting position. Horrify does not quite find its target. Muffin Man gets the triple slap away as Sonya does get her juice going. As we do see now the Wrath coming out. And actually, I've never noticed the gloves kind of glowing. There's a root coming out, and Kel'Thuzad finally gets his... Kel'Thuzad's only just gotten his spell thing off now. That's going to be a big turnaround in terms of damage for the side of Bull Moose Party as, well, as we saw, Modus Trollin barely held on for the original hit, yet was taken down by the Tychus. Now we do see a silence come out. Watch for Dan getting very low, not able to quite go down. Poppin' Fresh does dodge the Shadow Fissure, also won't quite want to go down as well, as that is a very good fight for the team of Bull Moose Party, considering they've been down a little bit of this map. They're wanting to just kind of get back in it. Good. As I just was busy having a little bit of drink instead of actually moving the camera like a good cameraman. Yes. So I'm just excited to see Varian used outside of Taunt and NGS. It's amazing. I played a lot of Taunt Varian in my first season of NGS. definitely made me fall out of love with Varian, taunt-wise at least. But there's a special place in my heart for both Twin Blade and Smash. Varian, just watching them going in like, yes! As you see a big break fight playing out here, and there's a lot of CC coming out onto the Mal'Ganis. And then Toast Monster, oh my gosh, lost most of the health, thank you to that combo. There'll be Toast Monster going next. Kel'Thuzad did actually have his phylactery up, so is able to return immediately. And this will now be a double kill over the side of all random all middle age, as they're about to lose actually bot as well. By the looks of it, no one is responding to that camp. That camp is able to push and take bottom by itself, and I don't know if Poppin' Fresh gets there in time. We'll have to wait and see. May take a lot of the damage, having to use Cry Freeze to do so, but that will be that objective taken. Not objective, that will be that fort taken. And Poppin' Fresh does actually get there in time, and managed to mean that they can hold on to their keep fort. My brain is just losing my mind. That's a bad sentence. Barber doing their best just to poke out the enemy team. They're just going to want to control this rotation. Poppin' Fresh getting run down by Varian, getting hit quite hard. That is a Brightwing face shifting onto them as Poppin' Fresh barely holding on. Juggernaut now in orc position. Will go down to Toast Monster as Toast Monster, well, not to Toast Monster actually, to Brightwing. But Toast Monster did manage to hit that Shadow Fissure. Excellent flaming fights from Muffin Man, meaning the team of all random all middle age can keep alive and just slow down the momentum of Bulmer's party enough for them to make sure that they do still have a bruiser who can at least fight this game. As Tiger's Grenade takes out the side wall, not going for the main wall, as the last of the 16 talents is picked up by Bulmer's party. Watch for Dan going in, getting very low, does have to back up, uses the Carrion Swarm. Muffin Man getting very low, but will be Mal'Ganis going down first. However, they are taken out by that auto attack splash, I believe. Nope, that is just a general auto attack from Kel'Thuzad. That will be an excellent kill. And once again, just trying to keep it even into this late game. The early game, yeah, sure, we did see that all random all middle age were ahead. But as soon as Kel'Thuzad got that quest done, we can see there has been a shift in power. Oh my gosh. There was a lot of poison damage. There's a shift in power as to who was be able to do what. And actually, we see Juggernaut wanting to pressure up here, as that is Toast Monster being frozen. Ice Wall coming out, and that will be a very dead Kel'Thuzad. Ouch. Owie. Pain. Etc. Anyway, Shadow Droid now being run down by the side of Barber, Juggernaut, and Poppin' Fresh. No healer with him. Stukov did have to back. Watch for Dan now getting very aggressive, and Winter Rose actually looking to join the fray. As Juggernaut eating a decent amount of damage. That is now Face Shift coming out onto Winter Rose. Winter Rose surviving. May going down first. Poppin' Fresh now having to fight for their life as they have to back up. Barber doing their best to help by throwing in that damage. The Firefly is being followed up by the Orb, as that is, my word, that's such fast travel speed. As it looks like the blue team is just going to want to take that red fort, as that was Bulmer's party, evening up the structures now. And Modus Trollman has been left to clear. That does so much damage. When with those free hit talents with the 16 will go down, that does a lot of damage. As you can see, that was the... Oh, it's not bad. It's Rampant Hellfire. It's not something you see often, but it is a good talent in the right hands, and I'll have to keep an eye on Modus Trollman now to see how they do with it. And now we see the red team. Nope, not the red team. All random all middle age going and just kind of making sure Bulmer's party can't overstay their welcome. Eternal Blue is backing. I'm going to assume that only means that Brightwing has their phase shift back. Phase shift back. Come on, Brightwing, do it. Don't make me look like a liar. Phase shift back. Ah, I give up. Brightwing's just walking. This is what I get for trying to call things. I'm like, yeah, Brightwing will do this. No. I should learn at this point. Every time I say this will something will happen, the players have some form of like, nah man, screw you. And just like, ignore what I say completely and just do anything else, which, to be fair to Brightwing, is a great play. They did a great play. They just walked back. They did not need a phase shift in. They needed to save it, but making me look like an ass. As now we're coming up to 20s for both sides. It'll be interesting to see where we go from here. Both teams have quite strong 20s, so it could go very much either way. I guess it depends on how good the Horrifies are. Per cooldown hit. Because if Gul'dan hits a very good Horrify, well, it can ruin teams with the directions they run, especially with the Haunt upgrade being such a long affair. Barber now in an interesting position, just looking at that flank leaning. Never mind, leaning back down, doesn't want to quite get caught out there. Rotor's trolling, doing their best just to make sure that push is kind of killed. However, 20's come through at the same time as I'm going to pull those up so we can have a brief look at everything that's happening. We have Glory to the Alliance. Yeah, Glory to the Alliance and Varian running gun from Tyker, so a different change from the big red button we've seen before. Juggerob not sure about it, does manage to scout the enemy, does get stunned. Actually, they'll be Juggerob being chained back in, Unstoppable being used as their first thing to go down, and they went Shatter, they did not go the upgrade of Flash Freeze, as they did just have to back out. Winter Rose now in an interesting position. Swipe, meaning they're unable to get back onto Juggerob as they will go down. As actually a Brightwing went down and with a phase shift onto them thanks to that, oh maybe not phase shift but blink heal, and that is an excellent quadra kill for the side of all random all middle age. Are they going to choose to end here or no? They're just capping. I'm wondering if that will cause their downfall. But it looks like boss call is being made. I'd probably have to guess say someone goes to touch bottom. Yep, Pop and Fresh going bottom. Excellent idea. So we do have a little bit of damage missing thanks to that Boomers party getting down Li Ming. So it isn't going to be the fastest boss clear. So they will probably be up to defend a decent amount of the damage from boss. They will be able to get up and clear. But I'm just interested to see where boss goes. And that is not the way that Boomer's party wanted the Archangel to go. As that is the Zerg wave. So that is going to be an Archangel pushing on the top with a full Zerg to follow behind it very soon, because it doesn't look like any of Boomer's party will be in the position to touch. And yup, there is the objective going over to the side of all random, all middle aged. Now we see Watch for Dan going in, the Archangel putting in a decent amount of damage. I'm going to hide this, it doesn't matter if talents at the moment, I'll talk about it later. You see a decent amount of damage coming out. No one actually got hit by the Kel'Thuzad Shadow Fissure, as we do see it went onto full cooldown. Watch for Dan doing their best to kind of get all the aggro off, make sure that their keep is going to last a little bit longer, but Zerg is here now. Archangel is firing on, Archangel goes down. Watch for Dan does get pressured out by Barber, swipes onto it, and actually uses that Carrion Swarm. And we do see here that he has a Carrion Swarm upgrade, so everyone he touched is going to sleep. As that is a very good kind of stall tool, but we'll be interested to see where it goes from here. No, this Zerg is still going bot as well, so that is something to note. If they get, blue team, we're stored out here for long enough, they should be fine. However, should is not a will be fine. As Watch for Dan is getting very low, phase shift will not quite save him, as that is the first blue team member to fall, the second soon to follow. Toast Monster's next to go. Eternal Blue and Shadow Droid is still alive. That will be GG call from Eternal Blue, as that will be all random, all middle age, taking the series 2-0. GG both sides. Wonderful match that I was able to cast, and I'm very happy that people got to see them, because it was fun. Anyway, let me cut it over to the game summary screen. As we can see, as my chat goes away, the double mage team actually came out on top here. Interesting, considering most people go, oh, you need auto attack and mage instead of just double mage or double auto attack. No, it did work out just because Gul'dan is a kind of sustained mage more than anything else, while Leeming is burst, so Gul'dan makes up for it. And Gul'dan's wave clear on this map is tremendous. As we can see, 114k siege. And I would like to see the stats regarding Zerg clear, but that's not something I have available to me. I liked the Variant pick. I really liked it. I love Variant. I'm just sad it didn't quite work out of this instance, but you can definitely see it did shine against some of the in points of the series, as they were able to bully out Sonya at points. They were able to take all those camps. Other than that, things to note, actually both healers very close to each other in healing. Damage numbers across the board, relatively comparable in favor for middle aged. All in all, it was pretty comparable, especially considering there was such a large kill difference. Anyway, I'll look at talents last. No, because I didn't actually know what 10s, 20s were picked up in the end, because we saw Invisible Friends that shade of the Damned returned for Kel'Thuzad. Seeker Swarm for Mal'Ganis, that sleep that did stall at the end. Then we had Shadow, Telrash's Elements, Haunt, Poison Spear, Composite Spear, and Controlled Chaos. So very good talents here at the end. But right, that was, as I go back to the map view screen, as I push the correct button and don't click the wrong button. So 2-0 decide, all random, all middle age. It was wonderful showing, however, from both teams. And I'd like to thank them for this wonderful series. All in all, however, that is going to be it for me, as I wish people a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending where I am in the world, because time zones are weird. And I'll see you all in the Nexus. Bye!